Welcome to the Win Streaks preview and prediction of all 32 NFL teams for the upcoming 2017 season. Over the next few weeks, I will be covering all 32 teams, so please subscribe on YouTube or the podcast platform you're listening on so you don't miss an episode. My name is Corey Foister. You can follow me on Twitter or Instagram at Corey Foister. Follow the show on social media. That is Twitter at Win Streak News, Facebook.com/TheWinStreak, TheWinStreak.com. Leave a review and subscribe on the podcast platform you're listening on. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. That is Soaring Jets Production. If you're listening right now on YouTube, drop me a comment below. Contact us at either soaringjetproductions@gmail.com or thewinstreak.com/contact. Join our fantasy football league. You can find out more information about that via Facebook or thewinstreak.com. Top 10 Super Bowl matchup we want to see is now live. And if this is the first time you've ever listened to anything regarding the Win Streak, please check out our weekly sports wrap-up show that me and my co-host Brandon Myers do. It's a lot of fun and it's pretty hilarious, so please check that out. But for now, I am doing the 2017 Kansas City Chiefs preview and prediction episode. This is Kansas City's 58th season overall. This is the 5th season under head coach Andy Reid. General manager John Dorsey was fired on June 22nd. On July 10th, the Chiefs promoted co-director of player personnel Brett Veach to general manager. I'm not a fan of the move. I thought it was a little bit too late to fire a general manager. If you want to fire a general manager, do it before the draft because, well, the draft is pretty much your future for the next couple of seasons. And, general managers and head coaches, I believe, should be fired for the most part on Black Monday unless something out of the ordinary happens. The Hunt family owns the team. In 2016, the Kansas City Chiefs clinched their first AFC West division title since 2010. The Kansas City Chiefs also clinched a first-round bye for the first time since 2003. But of course, they lost to the Pittsburgh Steelers 16-18 in the divisional round of the playoffs. The Kansas City Chiefs finished 12-4, losing 2 road games and 2 home games. So really a balanced team. That was pretty solid to have only 2 road losses and 2 home losses as well. The only one better off the top of my head is the New England Patriots and the Houston Texans. The Houston Texans went 7-1 at home. The Chiefs had 7 Pro Bowlers last season. Eric Berry was the team MVP. Tyreek Hill was the team Rookie of the Year. Tyreek Hill, by the way, was also a Pro Bowler and one of the better rookies to come out of the draft last season. The Chiefs had 9 players in the annual NFL Top 100 Players Countdown, which happens every year on NFL Network. The Kansas City Chiefs had the 24th most valuable NFL franchise, according to Forbes. They have 2 AFL championships, 1962 and 1966. 1 Super Bowl 4 in 1969, being the second team in the AFL to win a Super Bowl, the first being the New York Jets. Never won an NFC championship, being one of only 2 teams to win a Super Bowl but never won a AFC championship, the other being the New York Jets, because of course the Jets and the Chiefs both won the AFL championship to go to the Super Bowl, not needing to win the AFC championship because it didn't exist. 9 division championships overall and 19 playoff appearances overall. My franchise what if for the Kansas City Chiefs. What if the Chiefs could have drafted Andrew Luck? In 2013, the one time the Kansas City Chiefs had the draft number 1 overall pick, there was no good quarterback to select at such a lofty selection. I mean, why would you draft some of the guys that were in that draft? If Andrew Luck didn't stay at Stanford, the Chiefs would have no doubt drafted him. There would be no Alex Smith debate. I think they would be in a lot better position. Not taking nothing away from Alex Smith. I say Alex Smith, he's a good quarterback. He's been in a bad situation with the San Francisco 49ers choosing Colin Kaepernick over him, despite him having probably his best season ever. And now it looks like there's going to be possibly an ugly divorce here in Kansas City involving the Chiefs and Alex Smith. Moving on to 2017 outlook, in 3 of head coach Andy Reid's 4 seasons with the team, the Chiefs have made it to the playoffs. The AFC West is a tough division, an extremely tough division, with the Oakland Raiders, with the Denver Broncos, and even with the now Los Angeles Chargers. It's not a joke. All 4 of these teams have a court, well, except for maybe you could say the Denver Broncos, but you got some pretty decent quarterbacks, definitely good defense outside of the Chargers, but it really 4 solid teams in the AFC West. Chiefs shocked most by investing 2 first-round picks in a work-in-progress quarterback when Alex Smith still has gas left in the tank. The move highlights that the franchise doesn't believe much in Alex Smith's ability to get them to the promised land. Biggest positive change, Chiefs didn't get any big veteran player acquisitions or departure. The effort by the franchise to get a franchise quarterback stands out. If Patrick Mahomes works out, he's a coin flip at best. Alex Smith, for now, is the starter of the Kansas City Chiefs. Biggest negative change, but that's not saying much because, well, he was the starter of the San Francisco 49ers until he got hurt, and then Colin Kaepernick took the job, and, well, for the next 4 years, Colin Kaepernick was the starter and the face of the 49ers franchise. Moving on, biggest negative change, the sudden dump of receiver Jeremy Maclin highlights that the Chiefs may be more focused on future than on this season. General manager firing was too late, in my opinion, as well. Young guys won't help the Chiefs get to the divisional round again. Need veterans like Maclin. Andy Reid is safe for now. Contract extension highlights that fact that he is not going anywhere. Even if he only wins 2 games for the Kansas City Chiefs, I don't see how you fire somebody that you just give a contract to. But then again, the Los Angeles Rams did that with Jeff Fisher. But Andy Reid, you could say all you want about Andy Reid, and there's a lot of negative things you can say about Andy Reid. He's no Jeff Fisher. He's a lot better than Jeff Fisher, at least in my opinion. Preseason, home for the 49ers, at Cincinnati, at Seattle, and then you finish the preseason back in Houston to play the Tennessee Titans, which I find a little interesting. Usually you don't play a divisional opponent in the preseason. Chiefs regular season game-by-game prediction. If you're a Kansas City Chiefs fan and you live outside of Kansas City, you're going to be happy because the Chiefs have 6 primetime games this season. I don't know any franchise that has more than 6. At Patriots to kick off the regular season on which would be Sunday Night Football, but it's on a Thursday on NBC. Redskins on Monday Night Football, at Houston on Sunday Night Football, at Oakland on Thursday Night Football, home for the Denver Broncos on Monday Night Football, and home also for the Los Angeles Chargers on Thursday Night Football. So a big mixture. If you like Kansas City and watching the Chiefs play, you're in luck. You got 6 games, and only the Sunday night game can be bumped, and I can't see them bumping the at Houston game on Sunday Night Football. So we're going to be stuck with a lot of Chiefs games, so hopefully they're good this year, and I say they will be. Open up the season September 7th at New England. Worst case, best case, I say you lose this game, but you're going to give the Kansas City, or the New England Patriots, I should say, a run for the money. I just think, Tom Brady, even if he has a downward year, age finally gets to him, he'll be ready to go for the first game. He's not going to run out of gas that quick. Very hard. If you would have got that game a little bit later in the season, I could completely see the Chiefs beating the Patriots, but the Patriots are going to be pumped up. I can't tell you the last time the Patriots opened up the season with a loss. I know it's happened before, but especially as defending champions, I don't think it's happened. And I'm sure somebody on YouTube right now is going to post the link when it happened. But I just don't see you winning this game at all. September 17th, home for the Philadelphia Eagles. Worst case scenario, I see you losing this game, but you should win this game. I say best case, you beat the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles are going to be, I say, a slightly better team than they were last year. I like Carson Wentz. I like where the Philadelphia Eagles are trending, but I say the Chiefs are just a better team than the Eagles. September 24th at Los Angeles to play the new Los Angeles Chargers. Worst case, best case, I say you beat the Chargers. You're a way better team than the Chargers. The Chargers are not a joke, but the Kansas City Chiefs are just the better team here, in my opinion. So you go into October. At worst, you are 1-2. At best, you are 2-1. October 2nd, home for the Washington Redskins. Worst case, best case, I say you beat the Washington Redskins just like the Chargers, but even more so than the Chargers. The Redskins are a good team, but the Chiefs are just a better team than the uh, than the Washington Redskins, in my opinion. Kirk Cousins is probably a better quarterback than Alex Smith, but I just like the offense and defense of the Chiefs more than I like the Redskins' offense and defense outside of quarterback. October 8th at Houston to play the Texans. Worst case, best case, I say you lose to the Texans unless they're whoever's going to be the quarterback down there for the Texans completely flubs it up and does a awful job, a lot of turnovers. Then I can see you winning at Houston, but Houston only, like I mentioned before, they only lost one game last season, so it's going to be really hard to play in Houston and get a win. October 15th, home to play the Pittsburgh Steelers. Worst case, you lose this game, but best case, I can actually see you beating the Pittsburgh Steelers. October 19th at Oakland. Worst case, best case, I say you lose to the Oakland Raiders. The Raiders are a really tough team. The Raiders and the Chiefs, I believe, like last year, are going to battle it out the whole season to see who wins the AFC West. October 30th, home for the Denver Broncos. Worst case, best case, I say you beat the Denver Broncos. Yeah, that defense is really tough, is really good, but the quarterback situation is not. They do not have a quarterback. Simeon, Paxton Lynch, no matter who wins, I say they're pretty much about equal, which isn't really saying much about Simeon because he has the playoff, the not the playoff experience, but the regular season NFL experience. That's why I say he'll win the job in the end. But they're just the quarterback situation is going to hold Denver back. Going into November, at worst you are 3-5. At best you are 5-3. November 5th at Dallas. I say best case, worst case, you beat the Dallas Cowboys. If anybody can go into Dallas and win at Jerry World, I say it's the Giants because they did it last year. The Giants have beat Dak Prescott and Ezekiel Elliott twice. I say it's going to happen again. I say that the Giants are going to win again, and I say that the Chiefs are going to win again. Just seeing the awful offseason that the Cowboys have had, I think they're going to somebody's going to have a sophomore slump between the running back and the quarterback. I think Cowboy fans are in for a mildly disappointing season, but I still think that they can make the playoffs. But the Chiefs, I believe, win here. I believe, I might be going out on a limb here. A lot of people are probably going to disagree with this. I think the Chiefs are a better team than the Dallas Cowboys. November, after that, you have a bye. Then November 19th at New York to play the New York Giants. Worst case scenario, you lose this game. Best case scenario, you win this game against the New York Giants. I believe the New York Giants are a sleeper team this year, if you can even say they're a sleeper team, just because of how good the Dallas Cowboys were in the NFC East. People forgot that the Giants were actually in the playoffs, and it really kind of depends on how Eli Manning plays. Eli versus Alex Smith, two quarterbacks that a lot of people that are not Chiefs or Giant fans are always down on. I say both of them kind of get a unfair rap, especially Eli Manning. Eli Manning has the 2 Super Bowl rings. So I say that makes him stand out a little bit more than Alex Smith. November 26th, home to play the Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills just got rid of their best wide receiver. They're not going for it this year. So, worst case, best case, you are beating the Buffalo Bills. Going into December, at worst, you are 5-6. At best, you are 8-3. Back to New York, December 3rd, to play the New York Jets, and that's going to be easy. The Giants are going to be the tough team that you got to play. It's going to be a cakewalk against my New York Jets. So you are going to win that game. Worst case, best case, awful case scenario, you are still going to beat the New York Jets. December 10th, home for the Oakland Raiders. Worst case, you lose that game. Best case scenario, you beat the Oakland Raiders. December 16th, home again for the Chargers. I say you beat the Chargers regardless. December 24th, home for the Miami Dolphins, who now have Jay Cutler as quarterback. I say you win that game as well. And then the final game of the regular season, December 31st at Denver. I say once again, best case, worst case, you can beat the Denver Broncos. So, if you're making a late playoff push in December at New York Jets, Raiders, Chargers, Dolphins, Broncos. Besides the Raiders and maybe going to Denver to play the Broncos, that's a really good December schedule to sneak into the playoff to, solidify your chances at winning that division or getting a first round bye. So if you're a Kansas City Chief fan, you have to even really November, but November is a lot of traveling at Dallas, at New York, and then home for the Buffalo Bills. But that's a pretty good schedule to make the playoff on if you get off to a bad start. But once again, the AFC West is no division to sleep on. If you get off to a bad start, that might be the end for you. So in the end, best case scenario, I have the Kansas City Chiefs going 13-3. Worst case scenario, I got them going 9-7. My final prediction, I'll almost go best case scenario here, but I'll dock them one more win. My final prediction is 12-4. You got two against the Oakland Raiders. The Steelers, the Cowboys, the Texans, the Giants, and the Patriots represent true test, and I believe that they'll be good. I believe that they can win the majority of these games. Rest of the game should be a lot easier, especially once you get out of week one. Everything is a lot easier. You have to play the Patriots from the start, and yet, Tom Brady is energized. Nobody's banged up, so you have a fully intact team. Sadly, the Patriots will also have a fully intact team, but you'll be 100% healthy and ready to go to face the Patriots, the hardest team in the AFC, I believe, this year. Right from the get-go, you won't have to play them in December when your quarterback, somebody else is hurt. So, you got the Eagles, you got the Chargers twice, you got the Redskins, you got the Broncos, you got the Buffalo Bills, you got the Jets, you got the Dolphins. So I definitely see, at worst, 8-8. But I think you're not even going to get that bad. You'll be 9-7 at worst. And I say the Kansas City Chiefs have a solid chance to make it into the playoff. If they don't win the AFC West, then I can completely see them as the number one wild card or the number two wild card. But the AFC is definitely going to be a fun division to watch. I say it's going to be a lot harder than the NFC, in my opinion. But once again, my name is Corey Foister. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Corey Foister. Follow the show on social media. That is Twitter at Win Streak News, Facebook.com/TheWinStreak, TheWinStreak.com. Leave a review and subscribe on the podcast platform you're listening on. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. That is Soaring Jets Productions. Contact us at soaringjetsproductions@gmail.com or thewinstreak.com/contact us. Join our fantasy football league. You can find out more information about that on our Facebook page. Top 10 Super Bowl matchup we want to see is now live. Once again, reminder, check out the Win Streak regular weekly wrap-up show. We talk about baseball, football, basketball, hockey, soccer. We have a great time, so please check that out. Check out my other preview of all 32 NFL teams. And until next time, keep winning, everybody.